Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 9. My name is Xavier Robert, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari launches Anti-Malaria Council in Abuja. Federal government seeks support for credible census in 2023. Plus, Zelensky, Erdogan, Guterres to meet in Ukraine on Thursday. Details of these stories and more in a moment. First in our news tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari has launched the Nigeria and Malaria Council at the State House in Abuja. The council is expected to drive the federal government's commitment to ending malaria in the country. In attendance at the launch were the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Bas Mustafa, Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and Minister of Health, Dr. Sajay Hanire, among other ministers and top government officials. Speaking to a 16-member council headed by Aliko Dangote, who is an ambassador for malaria, the president said the quest to eliminate the disease remained a priority for his administration. According to President Buhari, beyond improving the quality of life, health and well-being of Nigerians, the adopted strategy has public health and socio-economic benefits for the country. He said Nigeria would be saving about 687 billion naira in 2022 and 2 trillion naira by 2030 by ending malaria transmission in the country. The president urged the council to deploy best practices in its dealings in order to significantly reduce Nigeria's malaria burden, which according to the WHO now accounts for 27% of all cases and 32% of deaths. Assent to some major bills, including Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2022 and Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2022. Others are repealing the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2011 as amended and Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2022, which repeals the Terrorism Prevention Act 2011 as amended in 2013. The president also assented to the Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contracts Act 1993 Amendment Act 2019, Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria AMCON Amendment Act of 2019 and 2021. He also signed an act establishing the Police Trust Fund, which will improve funding for the Nigeria Police Force 2019, Nigeria Police Act 2020, the first comprehensive reform of police legislation since the Police Act of 1943, among others. In the meantime, President Buhari has targeted September 2022 to present the 2023 Appropriation Bill to the National Assembly. This was announced by the Director General Budget Office of the Federation, Ben Akabweze, in Abuja, during a training on budget preparation using the Government Integrated Financial Management Information System. The training was organized for more than 4,000 budget officers drawn from about 900 government ministries, departments and agencies. Nebo said the Buhari-led administration was determined to ensure consistent and timely preparation, submission and approval of annual budgets as part of its public financial management reforms. He lamented that MDAs did not study the budget call circular in detail, which resulted in them making avoidable mistakes as they failed to comply with the relevant sections of the circular. Akabweze added that the 2023 budget was being prepared alongside extant federal government policies and guidelines as articulated in the 2023 budget call circular and other relevant laws. Away from that, President Buhari has sent best wishes to former military President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida on his 81st birthday tomorrow. The president joined family, friends, and associates of the former leader in celebrating another year, heralding by God's benevolence and mercies. His wishes were conveyed in a statement by his special advisor, Femi Adesina. President Buhari noted the historical role of the former military president in shaping the political and economic development of the country and his counsel in upcoming political leaders. He also prayed for longer life, good health, and strength for the octogenarian. In a separate development, federal government has agreed to franchise a satellite internet regulatory commission. ICRC has issued 2 full business case certificates to the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology and Innovation. A statement from the ICRC in Abuja said the projects will be executed through the National Space Research and Development Agency. The release noted that the projects are expected to generate over 48 billion naira in revenue, create over 10,000 direct and indirect jobs, and also aid the fight against insecurity while providing internet penetration to rural areas. Speaking on the projects, the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Adeleke Mamora, said they were critical and will enhance the development of the nation in all ramifications. He added that the planetarium and museum projects were some of the projects deployed by the United Arab Emirates in Dubai to generate a pool of funds through tourism. Mamora explained that a planetarium is a domed building in which images of stars, planets, and constellations are projected for public entertainment or education. Now, the federal government says the success of the population and housing census in 2023 is a collective responsibility of all Nigerians. Secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, made the observation while declaring open the retreat on review of trial census for 2023 population and housing census in Abuja. Mustafa appealed to all tiers of government to support the National Population Commission for a credible and acceptable census. He identified credibility and acceptability as 2 determinants of a successful census, which could only be achieved with the support and cooperation of all Nigerians. The SGF commended the Commission for its commitment to deliver a credible and accurate census. Now, in education, Minister of State for Education Goodluck Opia has reiterated the need for an education system in Nigeria that prepares the youths for a knowledge-driven economy. The minister stated this during the inauguration of the Council of the Chartered Institute of Treasury Management in Abuja. Opia asked members of institutes to contribute and work towards the National Association of Nigerian Students has called on the federal, state, and local governments in Nigeria to jointly implement a working and reliable security policy to end insecurity across the country. The leadership of the Association Osun chapter made the call in a press statement. The student body recalled that aside from the COVID-19 factor in 2020, over 40.6 billion worth of foreign investments were diverted from the country's economy. Asked the federal government and the concerned ministry to put in place a capable counter-terrorism plan capable of averting insecurity. In the meantime, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps and SCDC has trained a specialized female squad for school protection. The squad would be deployed to schools nationwide as part of measures to curtail security threats on educational institutions. A statement by the NSCDC Public Relations Officer Olushola Odumosu noted that the Commandant General Ahmed Audi announced this at a Train the Trainer workshop in Abuja today. He advised the unit to remain focused, resilient, and committed to the security and Commandant General Crisis and Disaster Management Nnamdi Nwinyi said the Corps had developed strategic plans to enhance security nationwide. He charged the trainees to expand their capacity by engaging in critical thinking so as to come up with more robust ideas and solutions to achieve safety in schools. Away from that, members of the National Union of Electricity Employees have held a protest accusing the government of failing to address staff welfare issues. The workers, who converged on the Transmission Company of Nigeria headquarters in Abuja, said its members will withdraw their services to comply with the directive and down tools. The strike is bound to worsen Nigeria's electricity problems. It would be recalled that the union had issued a 14-day ultimatum to the managing director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria on May 18, threatening to embark on strike if its complaints were not resolved. In another development, the 36 governors in Nigeria will be meeting at the banquet hall of the presidential villa, Abuja, tomorrow to discuss the way forward for the nation's economy. The Director, Media and Public Affairs of the Nigeria Governors Forum Secretariat, Abdul Razak Bello Bakindo, confirmed this in a statement. Bello Bakindo noted that the state of the nation's economy will dominate conversations during the meeting. He explained that the meeting will begin fiscal transparency, accountability, and sustainability charter before conversation on the state of the economy begins. Now, National Emergency Management Agency (Nema) has resumed its air ambulance operations 4 years after the operation was grounded. The air ambulance service was grounded in 2018 due to routine maintenance and regulatory requirement. In a statement in Abuja, NEMA's head of press unit, Manzo Ezekiel, said due to leadership changes, repair of the aircraft was completed in 2021 and returned from France. He added that operations this year. Elsewhere, Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawale has signed into law a death penalty on anybody found guilty of banditry, cattle rustling, cultism, or serving as a bandit's informant. Matawale, who announced this in a broadcast to the people of the state, noted that the law provides a legal instrument for prosecuting banditry-related offenders. Based on the new law, anyone found guilty of banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling, cultism, or serving as a bandit's informant is subject to the death penalty. Back here, people have continued to express joy towards Tangsio 102.7 FM as the dialect-speaking station officially started its commercial broadcast yesterday. Speaking with Planet News, the chairman, Uran Local Government Area Surveyor Inyobong Ekpenyong, described the development as a long-awaited project Akwa Ibom people had been hoping to have. Pledging his support and that of Uran people for the station, Surveyor Ekpenyong expressed confidence that proper communication will be disseminated through Tangsio FM, which he said will help people assimilate the right information. Similarly, the village head of Ibiakuren, Obong Odudu Bolton Igwe, lauded the CEDA workers for their efforts in ensuring that proper information is disseminated and urged listeners for more patronage. Still in Akwa Ibom, some residents of Uyo, the state capital, have decried the current hardship in the country, appealing to governments at all levels to intervene and address irregularities surrounding the hike in prices of basic commodities. Speaking with Planet News, an egg dealer, engineer Anyekanba, and consumer Rosemary Atta lamented price hike on some basic commodities like egg. They noted that the increase in prices of the product further aggravated the hardship in the country, and Mba appealed to the government to provide feed for day-old chicks and vaccines for farmers. Also speaking with our correspondent, a poultry farmer, Nema blamed the hike in egg price on exchange rate and the economic situation in the country. Ebote said the situation in the West was not the same as the East due to availability of seaport to import some materials, adding that the economic meltdown did not affect poultry alone, but all other aspects of livestock farming. Still to come in the news.
A knowledge of global businesses, economic activities, a new wave of the stock market, forex market, cryptocurrencies, and NFTs creates new dynamics towards emerging market millionaires and billionaires. From the dot-com era to the oil booms, the fundamental news drives the market. This is Business 360, taking you to the business around the globe. Join us from 11:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. weekdays, exclusive on Spectrum Television. Business 360, your prism to world businesses.
The Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by across them, our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the matters council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but you can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Many thanks for staying tuned. We're moving on now to Africa, where Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga has rejected as null and void the result of an August 9 presidential election he was declared to have lost, noting that Kenya's democracy faces a long legal crisis. His first comments on the result came minutes after 4 of the 7 election commissions calling the final tallying process opaque. Odinga's supporters reportedly clashed with the remaining commissioners at the venue. Before Odinga spoke, the 4 commissioners claimed that the commission president's final calculation was 100.01% and that the excess votes would have made a significant difference. They also said he did not. Still in Africa, some Malians believe their country's military can handle the security issues in the West African state after the last French soldiers completed their withdrawal from Mali. Recall that France had pulled out of the country in the face of hostility after falling out with colonels who seized power nearly 2 years ago. In a statement, a member of Hand. Elsewhere, a Sudanese official says flash floods triggered by heavy rains have continued to tear up homes across Sudan, with the death toll rising to 66 since the start of the rainy season. Spokesperson for Sudan's National Council for Civil Defense, Brigadier General Abdul Jalil Abdul Rahim, said at least 28 people were injured due to the disaster. He noted that 24,000 homes and 24 government buildings had been badly damaged or completely destroyed. Sudan's rainy season usually starts in June and lasts until the end of September, with floods peaking in August and September. It would be recalled that more than 80. Now on the foreign scene, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, his Turkish counterpart Tayyip Erdogan, and UN Chief Antonio Guterres will meet in Ukraine on Thursday. This was announced by the United Nations. It is said the trilateral meeting is at the invitation of Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. The bloc noted that Guterres will later visit the Ukrainian port city of Odisha on the Black Sea on Friday before heading to Turkey. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky today discussed what he described as Russia's nuclear terrorism. Writing on Twitter, Zelensky, however, gave no further details of their discussions on the plant, which Russia seized in March following its invasion of Ukraine. Earlier, Zelensky had urged the world to show strength and decisiveness to defend the nuclear power station, Europe's largest, following shelling in its vicinity, which Ukraine and Russia have blamed on each other. In the meantime, Russia says massive explosions at a munitions depot in Moscow annexed Crimea were caused by an act of explosions at a Russian military airbase in Crimea. Ukraine has not directly claimed responsibility for either incident, but senior officials and the military have implied Ukrainian involvement. In a related development, Finland will limit Russian tourist visas to 10% of current volumes as of September 1 due to rising discontent over Russian tourism amid the war in Ukraine. Finnish Foreign Minister Pekka Haavisto told reporters in Helsinki that tourist visas neighboring Russia will be limited by restricting the allotted opening hours for tourism visa applications, as an outright ban based on nationality and is not possible. The foreign minister said Finland currently processed around 1,000. China has imposed sanctions including an entry ban on 7 Taiwanese officials and lawmakers it accused of being independence diehards. Drawing condemnation from the democratically governed island, the sanctions come after U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan this month, a trip that China said had sent a wrong signal to what it views as pro-independence forces. China considers Taiwan its own territory and not a separate country. Its de facto ambassador to the United States, Xiao B. Kim, Secretary General of Taiwan's National Security Council, Wellington Cole, and politicians from Taiwan. The U.S. Department of Justice says releasing details about the warrant used to raid Donald Trump's Florida home last week could cause irreparable damage to its investigation, noting that it wants to keep the affidavit, a court document showing the evidence required obtaining the warrant, on the wraps. Recall that FBI agents had searched Mar-a-Lago to find out if Trump improperly handled government records at the estate in Palm Beach, noting that it was the first time an ex-president's home was raided in a criminal probe. In the meantime, several news organizations have applied to have the affidavit unsealed. U.S. First Lady Jill Biden has tested positive for COVID-19 and was experiencing mild symptoms. The White House announced this today, according to her spokesperson Elizabeth Alexander. The 71-year-old First Lady tested negative yesterday during her routine testing positive. Now in our business news, Federal Ministry of Budget and National Planning has commenced training for ministries, departments and agencies personnel who will be involved in 2023 budget calendar preparation based on the Government Integrated Financial Management Information System Budget Preparation Subsystem. The Director General Budget Office of the Federation, Ben Akabweze, announced this during the opening ceremony of the training in Lagos on Monday. Speaking in his opening remark, the main goal of the training was to provide continuous learning to equip budget personnel with the requisite knowledge, skills, and the tools they require to prepare and submit the 2023 budget in a timely and efficient manner. Still in business, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Mohammed Abubakar, has reiterated the federal government's commitment to collaborate at about 300,000 metric tons is expected to hit 500,000 metric tons yearly if given the necessary support it deserved. Abubakar, who stated this during a courtesy visit by African Cashew Alliance (ACA), led by its president Atumba Batola Faseru, in his office in Abuja recently, revealed that the focus of the present ministry would continue to support the cashew value chain, maintaining that it had trained smallholder farmers on cashew production, processing, and packaging of the commodity. In his remarks, the President Cashew Association of Nigeria, Ojo Ajanaku, who thanked the minister for his support, reported as only very few companies are involved in the local processing of the produce. Now, Nigerians spent 1.69 trillion naira electronically on utility bills such as power, pay TV subscriptions, and other everyday utilities in the first 7 months of 2022. According to data from the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, this is a 32.06% increase from the 1.28 trillion naira that was electronically spent on utilities in the corresponding period of 2021. This figure indicates an increasing acceptance of electronic channels for bills payment by Nigerians. The NIBSS defines e-bill pay channel as an accessible and seamless account-based electronic bill payment channel with online real-time transaction, reporting biller notification, and easy reconciliation. Elsewhere, following the energy crisis that has engulfed Nigeria, especially the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) and other states, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria (IPMAN) has kicked off plans. The IPMAN president, Debo Ahmed, who made these disclosures to newsmen, said the association is already negotiating with its stakeholders on how to import diesel into Nigeria. Recall that the premium motor spirit (PMS), popularly called petrol, has been very scarce, not for shortage of supply, but largely due to the inability of the transporters to fill their trucks with the expensive diesel that convey it from the coastal depots to Abuja and up north. Still in business, the Naira on Monday depreciated against the dollar at the investors and exporters window, exchanging at 413 Naira. The figure represented a decrease of 0.09% compared with the 429 Naira. 144 Naira to the dollar was the highest rate recorded within the day's trading before it settled at 430 Naira. Report says a total of 134.30 million Naira was traded in foreign exchange at the official investors and exporters window yesterday. The Naira sold for as low as 417 Naira to the dollar within the day's trading. Still to come in the news. Joshua vows to smash Usyk on Saturday. Stay with us.
police force, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is
my lord.
this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Many thanks for staying tuned. Now in health, World Health Organization, which is looking to rename monkeypox, has called for help from the public in coming up with a less stigmatizing designation for the fast-spreading disease. Reports say the UN Health Agency has for weeks voiced concern about the name of the disease that emerged onto the global stage in May. Experts warn the name can be stigmatizing to the primates it was named after, but who play little role in its spread, and to the African continent that the animals are often associated with. Recently in Brazil, for instance, there have been reported cases of people attacking monkeys kept for research in Denmark in 1958, but the disease is found in a number of animals and most frequently in rodents. The disease causes fever, muscular aches, and large boil-like skin lesions. Still in health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed 172 cases of monkeypox across 27 states in the country. The National Health Agency announced this in its latest monkeypox situation report for week 31. Monkeypox is caused by the monkeypox virus. It is a rare viral zoonotic disease transmitted from one person to another by close contact with persons through body fluids, respiratory droplets, and contaminated materials such as bedding. Reports say Nigeria is one of the countries in Africa where the disease is endemic. Still in health, Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital in Kano has commissioned a new hematological disease ward with a signal that it would begin bone marrow transplant. The chief medical director of the hospital, Professor Abba Sheshe, confirmed this at the official commissioning of the ward. Sheshe explained that only Lagos State University Teaching Hospital had successfully performed bone marrow transplants in Nigeria. However, stressed that with the establishment, furnishing and equipping of the new ward, the hospital could successfully admit bone marrow transplant patients.
Thank you, Save Robert. Good evening and welcome to the Sport Desk. I am Bright James. We begin with boxing, where Anthony Joshua is blessed to rediscover the aggressive side of his boxing when he faces Alexander Usyk in Saturday's rematch. Saturday's rematch, with Joshua acknowledging an action-packed destructive approach, had been key for so much of the early successes in his career. Against Usyk this time around, Joshua promises to be back with revenge. Victory in this rematch would see Joshua as heavyweight in the world, not without fighting Tyson Fury. As football, where former Enyimba winger Anayo Iweala has joined Algerian champion CR Belouizdad on a one-year loan deal. The 23-year-old linked up with Belouizdad from Tunisian giants Experience the Sportive Tunis. Iweala moved to Experience from 8-time Nigerian Professional Football League champions Enyimba in 2021. The pacey winger made 30 appearances in all competitions last season, scoring 3 goals with 4 assists. He's been capped 5 times on the international scene by the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Elsewhere, Palace defender Joachim Andersen said he has received death threats directed at him and his family after he was headbutted by Liverpool's Darwin Núñez in Monday's Premier League 1-1 draw, which resulted in the striker being sent over Anfield. The striker was shown a straight red card after headbutting Andersen in the second half, with Liverpool trailing following Wilfred Zaha's strike. The host managed to salvage a point after Luis Diaz's stunning equalizer, but the result leaves Liverpool winless after 2 games, down in 12th place, and fans vented their frustration by contacting Andersen on Instagram. Now to transfers, where Chelsea have had an improved £45 million offer of winger Anthony Gordon rejected by Everton, according to sources. Although Everton continue to insist the 21-year-old will not leave, Chelsea are continuing the process, having had an initial £40 million bid dismissed already. Chelsea will now decide whether to make a third offer for the England under-21 winger Gordon, who had previously attracted interest from Tottenham Hotspur and Newcastle United. And that's all from the Sport Desk this evening. I am Bright James. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Steve.
Now on the entertainment scene, BB Niger housemates Cheesy, Daniela, Cass, Modella, Famsavi, Amaka and Groovy have been nominated for possible eviction in the ongoing Big Brother Niger Level Up edition. The housemates were nominated for eviction by Elo Swag, the new head of house for week 4. Elo Swag, who gave reasons for his nomination, said he picked Cheesy because of his attitude towards level 1 housemates, and Daniela because he felt she was no longer comfortable on the show after her lover Khalid had been evicted. According to him, Modella and Famsavi were nominated because he wanted to examine the strength of their fan base, while he felt Cass intended to leave, probably because he is married. Biggie, the coordinator of the show, said the nominated housemates were not allowed to campaign for votes as the portal opens. He announced the tale of the house as Fina, who had the worst performance during the head of house task. The winner of this year's edition will go home with a grand prize of 100 million naira, the highest ever since the inception of BB Niger. Still on entertainment, as part of his own singer Selena Gomez. Highlights from the show include clips of the moment when the American singer was seen planting kisses on Rema's face. Sharing the video on his Twitter page late Monday, Rema declared his love for Gomez, adding that Los Angeles gave him butterflies. The kissing scenes, however, excited fans who reacted via Twitter. And finally, singer and actor Darius Campbell Danish, who rose to fame on ITV talent shows Popstars and Pop Idol 2 decades ago, has died at the age of 41. The Scot came third on Pop Idol behind Will Young's album Dive In reached the top 10 after his chart breakthrough. He went on to become a West End star, appearing in musicals like Chicago and the Olivia Award-winning Guys and Dolls. The cause of death is not known, but his family said it was found in his U.S. apartment. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 9. My name is Xavier Robert. Do have a terrific night rest.